exercises. If you'd even like to skip a week in between, that's okay. If you want to have more of a chance to try things out. But I'll go out there with you and make sure we can figure out maybe just one other therapist, so you're not getting a whole bunch of different people.
Yeah, let's figure out one that's going to be around. Let's say I'm making this up, just in case, even after doing one or two, they feel, well, maybe one or two might be better.
Oh, yes, of course.
So they can do that. So somebody that's around between now and Christmas, that's great. And we're even okay if you want them to skip 1 or 2 weeks and then come back and 2 weeks out or whatever. We can make it work. Once you have decided, just let us know who the person is, and we'll work with the front desk to get the scheduling going.
Let's go out there actually and see who might be available. Any of my colleagues will be great. I learn a lot from actually a lot of them. So yeah, I think let's try it for 2 weeks. If we can get you in next week, I think let's do that. And then so for August, basically.
Sure. Okay. Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
So I was just taking a look at these to see if we could get one. So I'm seeing some that are like $40-$50, and then I'm seeing some that are 200-ish.
Yeah.
Is there one that you don't want to buy something that's cheap just because it's cheap? It's better to buy something that's going to be good and does its job. And probably better to get a wider surface area. That way, there's something else that's a problem, then it has wider usage.
Sure.
Do you have any suggestions?
So I haven't tried a lot of the ones not in our clinic here, but I will tell you on the little handout that we give out, usually it has a range on there of $40 to $60. So I think most of the time we don't recommend the huge, expensive baths. For the elbow, for example, what we'll usually do, even in our shallower one, is use a soup ladle and pour it over the bath to get all the different sides. And then you wrap it with saran wrap, or you could cut a hole in a bag, I suppose, and use it that way. And then wrap it with a towel to hold the heat in. I don't know if you need a huge bath.
Okay.
In any of the baths, as long as you are checking the temperature with a candid thermometer, that's the most useful. I would say probably 120 degrees. Usually the therapeutic range is 120 to 130. Seems like your dad likes the 120, maybe a little bit better than the 130.
So these don't come with thermostats?
Some of them do, some of them don't. I don't exactly know which ones are which.
Yeah, no, I can look that up. So if the thermostat is there, you still use the candid thermometer? Because they're not that reliable?
I would definitely check it first, because burning would not be something I want him to do.
Okay.
But yeah, above 130 would definitely be too warm. But 120 I think is a good zone. And yes, sometimes the temperature gauges are not always the most accurate. Even ours, we keep thermometers in most of the time. We check it every day.
And then those things, they also you just clean out the wax? You dip it and just wipe it out?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it comes off pretty easily. There's a ratio on the sheet of paper too your mom has. Most paraffin units will come with some kind of wax with it. There should be some kind of mineral oil content to it. If there isn't, you need to add some, because pure paraffin wax can actually be burning. So baby oil, pretty much any oil that you might have, even if it says there's some mineral oil content to it, kind of test it out, maybe on a finger or so, and add a few more drops if it needs it to kind of thin it out, because that makes it easier to remove too.
Yeah, so pour it in the wax itself? The mineral oil?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, that, just to be safe, you pour in like a cupful or like a...
I would say if it shows that there's some wax or oil content to it, you don't need to do a full cup. So usually what we do, let me double check, sorry. I believe it's a ratio of 3 to 1 wax to oil. If it was pure paraffin wax without anything added to it.
Oh, some of the paraffin waxes come with mineral oil mixed with them.
Yes.
So I've seen some that came with like 6 pounds of wax. Is that typical?
That's probably typical, I would think. Let me double check. I think we have. Here we are. Yeah. So usually, yeah, three cups to 1 cup. Would you just like another copy of
Yeah,
it? Just
sure,
to,
thanks.
yeah.
So that's 1/3. So if it's 6 pounds, that's okay. Cool. And that also, but that you use it one time, and if you find it's sticking, you just add a bunch
little
more
more.
the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because these things can be used a couple of times, right? The wax.
Oh yeah, so the wax that I took off of him, you can remove it from the plastic and throw it back in. Really as many times as you want, as long as the wax is still kind of clear.
Oh yeah.
But you
Oh,
can
I
keep-
wasn't talking about that wax. I thought the base wax can be there for a while until it's.
But you can even reuse the stuff that's
Oh,
been on
really?
his hand. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even thought about that.
Cost savings. We can't do it here because
Yeah.
it's a.
Yeah, part of it. If you're the only user, then you could. Okay, I didn't even think about that. But thanks for mentioning it.
Yeah. Saves money.
Okay,
All right.
cool. That's great. Thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll
Of
see.
course. I'll come out with you and we'll see getting you in.